The sunk cost of clutter. That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's question comes from a housekeeper who works every day for a particular client. She does not live there, but she shows up every day to clean the house. And every day, she sorts through, manages, and organizes clutter. And she says, these people that I am working for have a whole bunch of stuff that they never use. They don't need it, they don't want it, yet it's there. Is there any way to get rid of all the clutter? Well, the very first rule to getting rid of all the clutter is to understand the sunk costs of clutter. All right, now the sunk costs of clutter, it goes back to Finance 101, where we talk about investing, saving, and what happens when you make an erroneous purchase. Now, an erroneous purchase is where you buy something that you probably couldn't afford, and you may not need it, and you bought it to impress somebody that maybe you don't like. So be aware when you're purchasing something. First and foremost, do you need the item? Number two, can you afford it? Number three, why on earth are you buying it? Is it for you, or is it to impress someone that you don't like? And number four, are you ever going to use it? All right, so the sunk cost of clutter. Everybody, I don't care who you are, but everybody has purchased something that didn't work out. For whatever reason, it just didn't work out. Or you purchased something and then it got old or it got worn out, and for whatever reason, you haven't thrown it away yet. Like, I have this pair of shoes. It's a pair of tennis shoes, and I love them. They're very comfortable, and I wear them when I work out in my yard, but they have holes in the toes, and they're so comfortable that I keep them. But they're kind of like garbage shoes. You know, they should have been tossed a long time ago. So if you came in my house, you just see this as clutter because they're just old shoes. I have better shoes I could wear. I have better shoes I could wear out in the yard, but I have these old shoes and I can't let go of them because they're just old and they're comfortable, right? But they are clutter. Okay, so the sunk cost of clutter is this. You have stuff that no longer serves you, that you would be better served to have something newer, something better, and you still have it. Okay, one of the costs of clutter, one of the sunk costs of clutter, is we hang on to things because we paid a lot of money for them, right? And so we don't want to get rid of it because it cost us a lot of money. I understand that too. That's one of the causes of hoarders. So what you have to do right up front is say there's a sunk cost. At some point, whatever it is that I have, it's a sunk cost. I'm never going to get my money back out of it. I'm never going to get my time back out of it because I'm probably never going to use it again. Whatever this is, like my old shoes, they're really not serving me anymore. They got holes in the toes. Dirt gets in my toes when I work in the garden. They're not very good support because the support is shot on them. They need to be tossed and thrown away. The costs are sunk. I've already expended the life of those shoes. And so sunk costs are sunk. That's the concept. They're sunk. You're never going to get anything back out of it. And so if you are a housekeeper and you're working inside someone's house and they have a whole bunch of clutter, you're there every day, so you see what they use and what they don't use. And if you're organizing stuff that's just there, that maybe the kids have outgrown, or they no longer play with, or they're items that have been around since 2008 that nobody in the house wants anymore, but they can't get rid of because they paid a lot of money for them, those are sunk costs of clutter. And so it becomes really important to just pay attention and say, hey, are we ever going to use this item again? Is it okay if I send it on its way? And if you say send it on its way, it's a very kind way of saying, can I toss this or throw it out? Because the reality is a lot of people don't want to admit that we're throwing something out. That means it's gone forever and we'll never get it back, right? But if you send it on its way, that's kind of a graceful way of sending it out into the universe and letting go of it, right? And as you let go of it, maybe it can find a new home, maybe it can find a new landfill. Who knows where it's going and who cares? But it's the sunk cost of clutter. Now, the expense of clutter is another sunk cost. And the expense of clutter is that we end up buying storage units, and we end up buying bigger homes, and we end up paying for professional organizers and doing things to allow us to keep our junk. And the reality is that is a sunk cost. You do not need to hang on to junk you no longer need or want. So number one, why are you buying this? Is it something you need or want? Is it something you can afford? And are you buying it for you, or are you buying it to impress somebody that you don't even like? There are a lot of times we call it keeping up with the Joneses, where we buy things to impress our neighbors. So as we drive in this big fancy car, our neighbors will be impressed. And then we pull into our garages and we close the door, and our neighbors are no longer impressed because they didn't see our car except for that long. The truth is, your neighbors don't care about you. They really don't. We live in this society where everybody's just glued to their cell phone. They probably never even saw you. They're just looking down at their phone. And then, if they do see you, guess what? They're so consumed with their own keeping up with the Joneses, they don't care about you. They're not the ones that are making the payments on those fancy cars. Let it go, right? All the things that we're buying, there's a sunk cost to that, unless it serves you, and unless it's something you were dying for, and unless it's something that you really wanted. And if that's the case, then you'll take care of it, and it's not clutter. It's a prized possession. So you have prized possessions and you have clutter. The sunk cost of clutter is when you treat your clutter like a prized possession. And it's not. So, my challenge for you, help the people that you live with understand the difference between prized possessions and clutter, and help them understand the sunk cost of clutter, and that it's costing you more and it's consuming more energy, time, and resources to hang on to something than it is to send it on its way. All right, so that's my 2 cents for today, and until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.